Recording, and we are going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live. Hey everyone, this is Chad with Owasso Live. My brother is on vacation this week, so it's just me, so I'll go ahead and get this started, and this is the Morning Loop. All right, let's get this show started real quick. So I'm all alone, so you're going to have to cut me some slack if it's a little harder to perform today for me. All right. Well, as per usual, we have got the traffic on 169 is kind of at a standstill right now. Definitely got a bunch of congestion right here on the 76th entry ramp area. So if you're going 169 right now heading into Tulsa, I would highly recommend going 175 or taking one of the sub-routes like down Mingo or something and getting around this little traffic blockage spot. Weather today, we got a low of 50s, high of 72 today. So it's going to be pretty nice weather day, a little chilly at the beginning, so light jacket, but it's definitely going to turn into some really nice weather later today. As per local events going on today, let me get that pulled up real quick. Let me see here. We have the Owasso Chamber, and this week on the Chamber we have, if I can get my computer to work, this week we have got the Empress Awards is tonight at 11. Let me see where this is at. So the Empress Awards is today. That is going to be at the Tulsa Tech campus. That's where they pretty much hold all their events. So the Tulsa Tech campus for the Empress Awards. It's $45 for members, $50 for non-members, and if you want to buy an entire table, which will sit 8 people, that is $500 a table. All right, and that is from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., so it's lunch today. So, all right. Then we also have on the 13th of this week will be business over breakfast, and then popcorn and perks as well on that Wednesday. Then on the 14th, we'll have a ribbon cutting for Code Whiz Owasso. So I'm assuming that is a computer coding location to teach people how to do stuff. Let me see here. Yep, Code Whiz Owasso. They are located on 12500 East 86th Street North, Suite 102. And that is that. And then dignitaries and donuts for the Owasso Chamber on the 15th as well. And I will repeat those and get more dates and times as we get closer to those days. Then on the Owassoism side, let me see, we have got, we see what we got. Pull it up. We have got Owasso Community Garden Hot Dog Fundraiser on the 16th. And then really nothing else. The 16th is the earliest thing that they have on the Owassoisms page. And let me look at this community fundraiser, hot dog fundraiser. See here. It's at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the 16th at the Community Center. Owasso Community Garden Fundraiser. And that is 11510 North Garnett. Okay. Now, that's pretty much what's going on locally today. Nationally, not a lot other than that I could find anyway. The weekends always kind of die out news-wise. But other than that, we had the State of the Union, which I found out a little piece because I was only watching. I was in and out of the State of the Union address because it really just seemed more like a campaign speech. It was a lot of saying, Trump did these bad things and stuff like that. So to me, that reads more of a campaign speech than it speaks to being a State of the Union address. The State of the Union is not what the previous person did. It's what's going on right now. But there was one of the fathers was invited by his Florida congressman to come to the State of the Union address, and he was one of the fathers of one of the Marines that died at the Kabul airport bombing, and he was yelling. He said United States Marine Corps and Abbey Gate, something like that. And he was yelling that, and he got thrown out and arrested, which is not very good. Does not look very good politically for the president. I mean, I thought, it was all we had free speech. So do we not have free speech anymore in this country? That's just weird that you can protest and yell. We have all these protests and stuff that go on all over the United States. So we have one dad that loses his son who's in the Marine Corps at Kabul Airport, and he yells United States Marine Corps at the president during the State of Union, and he gets arrested. Just seems a little odd. So that's just something that I kind of went over the radar before whenever I was watching it. But there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of people yelling and heckling. Why did this guy get arrested? I mean, if anybody had a right to yell and complain about something, it was this father. But I digress. To me, that's ridiculous. I don't understand why that happened. If there's any like GoFundMe or anything, I'm going to start looking and research about that. I definitely need to donate to that. But getting back to other news, the only kind of big thing that I saw, which kind of dropped Friday and Saturday-ish, like right as the weekend rolled around, but the Telegraph has apparently dropped an article, which I will try to pull up real quick. But the Telegraph has dropped an article saying that there is a link, that doctors have found a link between hormone treatment for people transitioning, so transgenders transitioning. They have found pretty much, it seems like a direct correlation between the hormone treatment and people getting cancer. Like I said, some of these treatments are actively giving people cancer, and this is just one of the many side effects to the hormone treatment that the doctors are not telling people about. And at this point, even in this article, it straight up says that out of all the patients that some of these doctors have had, the one that they were interviewing, they straight up said that all of them were granted treatment except for one that was like having like a mental breakdown, like in the actual counseling, the consultation for the procedure. So I guess the statement of do no harm is kind of fallen by the wayside, because with all the side effects that come from transitioning, it seems like it's a surgery that does not reap any benefits at all from what it promises to do. And then not to mention that as we've seen before, that the suicide rate in the transgender community doesn't desist after the transitioning. And that most of the people that are having these issues, they find out, are preteen children, but after they've gone through puberty, everything desists. Like the gender dysphoria ideation just desists. So they just either accept what they are, or that goes away after puberty because they don't feel confused anymore, because puberty is the big area where you really start coming into your own. You start realizing who you are and how you fit into the world. Because as a kid, you don't really understand that. You don't start grasping these concepts yet. But here we are giving, kids surgeries, like life-altering surgeries. And the other thing that I've been seeing is like the funny videos that a bunch of these YouTubers and other commentators are making, is these wacky, like going and talking to these people who are like grandmothers and parents of people like this that agree with this ideology of, transitioning children. And they're like, would you transition your grandchildren or your child? And they're like, yes, absolutely. That would be wonderful. Then they go, would you allow your child to get a tattoo? That's like the very next follow-up question. Like, no, absolutely not. A tattoo is permanent. What is going on here where a tattoo is beyond the rail of possibility here, but transitioning, having a life-altering surgery, isn't? I mean, I could understand. You can even like argue to me at some point of dressing. Your child can dress how they want to dress, but getting a surgery, it's done after that. There's no going back after a surgery. Surgeries are pretty much like irreversible. There's going to be some type of damage that's going to be caused that's going to be irreversible. There is no like, oh, I'm going to go back and, the surgeries are one and done. I mean, I don't understand. It's wild. It's wild. But I'm gonna pull up this article real quick. Sorry, I kind of went off on a tangent here while I was talking about. Let me pull up this article if it'll even let me. I know a lot of these places have paywalls now, just to let you all see that I'm not crazy here. Yeah, here it is, right here. Doctors, right here. Doctors admit link between trans hormone therapy and cancer links. Now, I don't have the subscription to this on this particular email, and I'm not about to sign up for another one. But here it is. If you all want to read this, I mean, it is insane. It is insane the stuff that they found in this article. I mean, what I just told you, the fact that out of all the consultations that one of these doctors had, they only stopped one person. He was only like, one person I'm not going to allow to transition. So, I mean, that's wild. That is just wild to me that this is the state that we're in right now. It's crazy. This is why you don't be doing stuff to your kids, like especially if you have any hope. I mean, especially now, like I said, everyone's like, "Oh, I don't want to have kids." Everybody says that when they're young, and then once you hit late 20s, early 30s, everybody's like, I'm thinking about settling down and having a family. If you do any type of surgery thing like this to your kids, it's over. Any hopes of them having happiness in a family besides like adoption is over. I mean, happiness, I mean, that is just insane that, you're going to take away your potential child's future happiness for present happiness. I mean, that's literally what addicts say. I'm not happy right now, so I'm gonna shoot up or I'm gonna drink or whatever your addiction is. You're just gonna I want to feel good now, right now. How about you hold off and see what really makes you happy? Because what makes you happy right now is probably not the same thing that's gonna make you happy 10, 20, 30 years from now. Guaranteed. Talk to anybody that's ever been a parent or hard work. You can't afford a $50,000 or $80,000 fancy car if that's what makes you happy. Affording fancy cars or whatever, you're not going to be able to afford that right away. You're just going to go put yourself into massive debt for something that you really don't need. You have to hard work and dedication. Earning it is what makes it meaningful. That is really the case. If you can just immediately snap your fingers and get something, it's not that meaningful to you. It's what we talk about with being in the military. Anybody who's been in the military knows, like, the hardest parts of the military, the hardest things you do in the military are the things that stick with you. I'm proud that I did that. It sucked at the time, and I hated it. Thought about quitting, whatever. But once you got it, once you complete it, you're like, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was, and now I feel like I've earned it. That is what makes life worth living. If we just got everything right away at the snap of our fingers, what's the point? Nothing. Hard work is literally what makes things worth it. If stuff was easy, everybody would do it. That's the saying. If working out was easy, everybody would work out. Working out is hard. Going to get a degree as a doctor, as an engineer, lawyer, whatever, it was hard. Anybody that tells you, oh, it was easy, I mean, for some people, maybe it is. Some people have those photographic memories. Maybe it is easy for them. And they're like, yeah, I don't care. But for anybody else, like for us average or normal folks, when someone comes up to you and says, oh, your doctorate or your law degree or whatever it is, and someone tells you, oh, that doesn't mean a lot, I'm pretty sure you're almost going to want to punch somebody in the face if they tell you that. And that's just kind of going to what this trans stuff is doing, is you're literally sacrificing someone's future for just a moment of feeling normal for now, or what they assume normal is, because we don't know how these people truly are feeling. It could just be a phase. Like, how many times have you ever heard, oh, it's just a phase? Kids who are goth, whatever, skaters, whatever. I mean, you can still be a skater and stuff or a goth today, but a lot of stuff are just phases that young kids go through, and you got to let them go in and grow out of it. I don't know. It's wild. That's really all I had to. I just when I saw that, I was like, we need to talk about this because especially with all the stuff that's been going on in the Owasso area lately regarding issues like this, I just felt this was kind of relevant to our current topics and stuff that's going on in the Owasso area. So, anyway, that's really all I've got for you today. Said if you know of any other events or anything else going on in the Owasso area, or you want to talk about any of the topics that we've talked about, leave a comment, message us, email us. Be happy to talk about it. Maybe even have you on the show. Just just hit us up. You know how to do it. Just hit us up on Messenger, Facebook, the comments, email us, and we'll be happy to discuss anything. Or if you have anything that you want to talk about or promote, like businesses, anything local that's going on that I'm not aware of, because I really depend on like the local news and stuff like that, like Owassoisms, the chamber, to find things to talk about. So if you know of anything that they don't, because they don't know everything either. Not everybody's involved with the chamber. Not everybody markets through Owassoisms. If you know anything that's going on, let me know. I'll be happy to talk about it. Maybe even come out and live stream it if you have some type of event you're doing. But this is Chad with Owasso Live. I hope everybody has a blessed day. This was the Morning Loop. Everyone, I'll talk to you later.